Is there anything you'd like Coleen to be chowing down on that you think would be quite fun?
Yeah, penis. The abuse that I endured while she sat back and allowed that to happen will never be forgiven, ever. I don't say this to be nasty. I say this because it's an opinion of mine, because she likes to be the victim. She's never liked me. I know that. She's never liked me. We were never friends. Like, it was never like that. I'm back.
Becky, hi.
Hi, Clems.
2 years since I last saw you.
I know.
And when we last spoke, you offered Coleen something of an olive branch, and you said you'd be happy to meet her in Cafe Nero for a little latte. Did that coffee ever happen?
That never transpired, funny enough. I think we might have gone to Costa now.
And obviously your former mate, Coleen, is going to the jungle. She's in Australia now. Will you be avidly watching you and the family?
Absolutely. Do you know what? Everyone seems to think I have this massive problem with Coleen going in the jungle. It's weird, like I don't know what the obsession is still, to be honest. You know, we're almost 5 years, well, we are 5 years down the line now. Been there, done it. You know, it's a great experience for anyone. And, you know, wish her all the best. I'm sure she'll have a great time.
You still got your jungle garb?
Yeah, I've still got it all. My hat's on proud display at home, yeah.
You can wear it whilst you're watching.
Could do, yeah, that'd make a good picture on it. I still wear my socks, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, they're quite comfortable. They keep your feet warm in winter.
And so going back to Coleen, obviously it's been 5 years now of weirdness and madness and animosity.
Yeah.
And there's lots of other things going on in the world. People are sort of saying, why are we still talking about this?
Yeah.
What's your take on it all?
Do you know what? It's ridiculous now, it really is. But do you know what? If you want to fan the fire, the flames are going to get higher. You know, I wasn't going to carry on talking about this. I had no intentions of talking about it, but you know, she clearly can't let it go. You know, we've done a book, we've done a documentary, we're going into the jungle.
Dancing on Ice next?
Well, maybe, you know. I think she always wanted my life. So, you know, she's following in my footsteps. But again, you know, for me, there's no hard feelings there towards her in doing these shows. The hard feelings are still there for what she caused. You know, the form, you know, the abuse that I endured while she sat back and allowed that to happen, it will never be forgiven, ever. You know, as a mum, I still can't comprehend, you know, how you could do that to someone, especially, you know, being pregnant as well. So if, you know, people want to go and celebrate Coleen as some sort of hero for doing what she did, then they need to remember, you know, what she did and, you know, what I went through in the form of abuse that I suffered off the back of something that, you know, wasn't for public consumption, you know, it wasn't in the public's interest to do that. But, you know, everything Coleen does is quite calculated, so, you know,
did you watch the video she did last night? She posted a video, a sort of piece to camera. I actually think she came across very well. I think she does have a likability factor, which, you know, people are saying she could win the jungle. For you, you know the real Coleen. I'm just seeing what I see on camera and I think, oh, she comes across as a really sweet girl. What's your take? She
does though, doesn't she? Because, you know, I don't say this to be nasty. I say this because it's an opinion of mine. Because she likes to be the victim and is almost an air of, you know, she's been in this industry a long time. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to play the game. She knows, you know, how the public will, you know, perceive her. And that's exactly what she's always done. She's definitely media trained. You know, I think she'll go into the jungle with a game plan. Most people do.
Did you?
No, I didn't have a clue what I was getting involved in. I just thought I'll go in, I'll be myself, I'll be, you know, really strong, determined, and I had the best time in there. You know, it was great. I really loved doing all the trials, and it was a really, really, really good life experience.
And you had to do a bushwhacker trial involved eating. I think you, from memory, ate a sheep's anus, an ostrich foot. You can see where I'm going with this. And 4-minute fruit. How was the eating challenge? And will you excitedly be ringing up more costs, this time on a phone bill, ringing for voting for Colleen.
If it's going to cost me any more money to do with Colleen Rooney, absolutely not.
You're not going to be doing any voting for Colleen?
Only the free ones. It's challenging. Like anything you do in that jungle is, it's not as easy as what you think it's going to be.
Is there anything you'd like Colleen to be chowing down on that you think would be quite fun?
Yeah, penis.
Will it be
or humble pie.
Will it be the worst thing she's ever had in her mouth?
Oh, I don't know. You have to look at her husband, really, don't you?
Moving on. When was the last time you spoke either as a family to Wayne and Colleen or individually to Colleen?
Oh God, years.
I mean, did you speak
ago.
after the court case? I can't remember now.
No.
Not at all. Nothing. No text. Nothing. You still each other's
nothing.
blocked or?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if I'm blocked, but I've had, I've not even attempted.
Yeah.
I've got no interest whatsoever.
Is she blocked?
No.
Oh right.
No. I'm not pathetic like that.
Yeah. And did I remember when after the case 5 years ago now, Jamie issued a statement when he turned up to support you. He basically said, Wayne's misremembering something. Did Wayne and Jamie ever speak to your knowledge after that?
No. No, I don't think Jamie would ever speak to him again.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of loyalty for you?
Not only that, because what he said was not true. It's infactual. And the reason Jamie didn't go to court was because I didn't want him there. And there's been so many, misrepresentations of the reason behind that he wasn't supportive of, what I was doing. He's always been supportive. He still is to this day. But he had a job, and his job, takes, a lot of effort and dedication. And I wanted him to focus on his career. And also it's my fight. I didn't need my husband to come and be in the stand, giving irrelevant evidence that had no effects on the case whatsoever.
So Colleen is doing reality television. I seem to recall in court, her barrister was quite dismissive of the fact that you previously have done reality TV. What's your stance on that?
I mean, it's hypocrisy at its finest, isn't it? I think that there was always a plan for reinvention. She stayed out of the public eye for so long. There was, so many stories, negative stories about Wayne. And I think she wanted to turn things around for herself. I still believe, it is my opinion, that there was always a 5-year plan involved. And, no surprise, we're on the 5 years and incoming jungle. It just feels very premeditated. But again, that's my opinion.
And why do you think she is now doing the jungle, having staunchly said no to every opportunity, every commercial sort of deal put her way? She's always said no, no, no. And suddenly here she is in a rainforest with a bunch of differing celebrities.
I have no idea. We've gone from a person that her legal team stood up in court and the barrister said, she's such a private individual. And now this so-called private individual is going on one of the biggest reality TV shows in the UK. I mean, ironic, really.
Yeah. Who would win in a boxing match, you or Colleen?
I hate boxing, but that would be one heck of a challenge. I reckon Misfits would be up for that one.
Yeah.
But I actually think ITV have missed a trick here.
Why is that?
Because they should definitely have me in as a special guest.
But there's a rumour that she would only sign a contract if you were guaranteed to stay away.
But why? What are you scared of?
I don't know. What would you go in and say?
Confrontation. Yeah. But isn't that what the show's all about? It's about viewing figures.
Would you go if they asked you?
100%. Get me on the plane now.
There's a story in The Sun, I believe, that you have trademarked the term Wagatha Christie. So is it right that your lawyers are eagerly watching the show, so every time she mentions it, it could be kind of ka-ching for you?
Do you know what? It's really funny because I haven't even had a conversation with the lawyers about anything to do with I'm a celebrity.
Yeah.
Or the trademark or anything.
But you have
like
trademarked
that.
the term, haven't you?
I have trademarked.
That was genius.
Yeah.
Has it made you any money yet?
No, I didn't do it for that reason. I just did
You've got
it.
Some legal fees to pay.
Oh yeah, I know those grotesque legal fees that keep cropping up all the time. I did it to stop people making money off the back of it, because to me it was a really serious time in my life. and I didn't want it to be used for the purposes of entertainment, because to me, it wasn't entertainment. You know, it really, really affected my life.
But arguably, Colleen's profiting hugely now by getting this show potentially off the back of this
Well, I think that
case.
screams volumes about her, doesn't it? You know, all the stuff that she's done, the documentary, the filming when we were in court, they were all the things that I got offered to do, and I turned them all down because I just thought, that's not what I'm here for. That wasn't, you know, the reason I took it to court. And I just thought, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth to have cameras following you around. It's such a serious, you know, allegation. And also, you know, what I dealt with as well. I just didn't find it funny at all.
You mentioned what you dealt with and the trolling you got death threats. It was pretty dark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was horrendous, like really, really horrendous.
Did you ever have therapy? When I spoke to you last, you said you hadn't, but did you?
Yeah, I've had CBT therapy.
Did that help?
It did. It helped retrain my brain and the way of thinking. And
what do you think the public perception of you both is?
I think they just think we're two spoiled little rich kids or rich girls. But it goes so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than that. And it was the level of abuse that I was receiving, which is what led me down the court path. And I have to say that, you know, hindsight's all well and good. Had I not been pregnant, had I not been really, really vulnerable, I probably would have dealt with it in a completely different way. If something like that happened to me now, I would be like, hun, you don't sit in your glass house. You know, I'd concentrate what's going on in your own life before you start throwing accusations and stones at other people.
Yeah, sorry, very crass question, but do you have an idea of roughly how much this has cost you? And I don't mean physically, I mean financially.
Not as much as what the press say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But more than $1 million?
TBC.
And has that put a strain on you? Do you feel a guilt or a burden to, you know, make it back in documentaries and reality TV shows? Is there part of you that's or panicking, or is that again just
I'm really panicking because I'm here, Clem. No, look, does it look like I'm, you know, crying myself to sleep and panicking? Of course I wish things would have turned out different. Of course I wish I'd never been in that situation in the first place. Of course I wish she'd have just turned up on my doorstep, picked the phone up and, you know, had that conversation woman to woman. But, you know, she wanted it publicly. So, you know, if she wants to go on about, you know, the stress-induced arthritis, well, you've only got yourself to blame. You shouldn't have done it in the first place.
In a recent podcast, Colleen said quite an inflammatory couple of lines, which I'm going to read out to you. See what you think. Here we go. So Colleen said, most people can't be happy in their own lives because they are attacking other people's lives. I couldn't imagine doing that to anyone. You've got to be a nasty piece of work. Who is that directed at?
Interesting choice of words there. Hypocrisy there.
Right.
Absolute hypocrisy.
I mean, do you think it was a dig at you then?
No, I don't. I've listened to it.
Yeah.
Well, I've listened to that part. That wasn't a dig at me, but I just find it ironic that you can actually sit there and say that, knowing what you've put someone through. And I know that can come back at me as a double edge or a 15-edged sword. But the truth of the matter is, she did do that. She, you know, she did exactly what she's talking about in that. I think there was a deep-rooted unhappiness and there was a lot of misdirected anger, you know, with what was going on with Wayne at the time. And, you know, unfortunately for me, I fell foul of that.
You're in the crossfire. Do you think she could win the show?
I don't know. I've not looked at the bookies' odds against it or against her. I think there's probably people that are probably more favourable to win in there.
But I think, again, looking from the outside, I think she's raised 4 great boys. She seems to have done a great job as a mother, and obviously as a wife, she's been incredibly loyal.
As most mums do, you know, as most mums in the country do. You know, most mums go and do school runs. Most mums have to write planners out for their kids on a weekly basis. You know, I've got 5. We all do it. You know, it's no shock horror that, you know, a mum should be there having to organise stuff. That's what mums do.
There must be part of you that admires her or acknowledges that she's got a kind side or a good side.
I just think she's got a really clever team around her.
Right.
You know, there's no way that she's not gone in there without having a game plan. You know, she'll probably go in there and try and be mother of the camp. You know, look after everyone, be really nice and kind. Maybe a bit boring. And then as the evictions start, and as we start going further into the show, I think she'll start dropping tiny bits of snippets of information that the public will go, oh, let's keep her in for another week. Let's see what else she's got to say. You know, is she going to reveal anything more about Wayne that we don't know in the public? But I just can't see her revealing anything that's not out there already. It would be interesting, really interesting.
And when she comes out,
you want me to interview her?
I would love you to interview her. That would be great.
So
I'd
much.
watch that, absolutely. Would you ever consider meeting up with her, or is it just too much water under the bridge?
Look, there becomes a time in life where you have to remove all of the negativity for your own well-being, and that's what I have done. Like, I am not bitter in the slightest about her doing anything. I'm not even bitter about, you know, the way it went down. You know, I removed myself from those feelings. I live in peace now. And I think that's the only way you can be, because it'll drive you insane. Like, bygones be bygones. She's never liked me. I know that. She's never liked me. We don't ever have
What used to be friends thought this was the whole crux of the matter.
We were never friends. Like, it was never like that. But it was made into this whole massive thing that, you know, I was trying to get inside her circle. No, thank you very much. You know, and this whole crazy nonsense about I was so desperate to be her. Are you joking?
Just finally then, does the offer still stand? Would you like to meet her in Cafe Nero for a latte?
Well, I don't know whether it'd be Cafe Nero or Costa. Or actually, we may need a glass of wine at that point.